Well, Chief, thanks again for joining us this month. And there are probably a few things that we would like to cover with you today.
Sure.
But but one thing that I think sometimes gets lost as we talk about public safety is the fentanyl crisis. And I wondered if you could give us an update on where we are with this horrific plague, and what signs do you see for Cambridge in the future for this?
Yeah, unfortunately, that's one of the things that has been traumatizing our community nationwide, and not just our community, but throughout. We see our fatality rates every year in the city of Cambridge going up. Our number of calls of service for fentanyl based or drug overdose of any kind uh, going up. I think last year we had, I believe, 10 fatalities. Uh, each of our officers carry Narcan, which we are very successful with, and are thankful to be able to get. Our EMS support is close by and are quick, but we're usually the first on scene when we get an overdose, and to be able to have that available for officers to be trained on and administered to the patients critical.
Yeah, well, and I guess it's too early to see much data for this year's.
Yeah, I can tell you we've already had in the city a couple fatalities already, unfortunately, because of it. My guesstimation is that it's on. We haven't gone down in our overdose calls. I can certainly attest to that. It's a crisis that we're working hard on. I think tracking serious offenders that are putting this poison out on our streets each and every day, and trying to backtrack the channels of where the victim of the overdose may have gotten the drug from. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort. It is working with the task force and also the state's attorney's office to try to combat that and get those dangerous people that are giving these awful drugs filled with, it's no better word for it than it's poison. It's poisoning to the subject. Once they shoot that drug into their vein, it can be deadly, and it only takes a small amount.
Chief, I was wondering, another big thing that people are talking about is juvenile crime. And I was thinking of the other side of it. What do you think are the most effective programs by the police or by any organization that reduce juvenile crime from what you've seen?
That's a great question. We always talk about the crime itself, but what's actually helping and what's supporting it. I believe in combating juvenile crime, you have to, at a young age, you have to be a part of the children's life. Everybody comes from a different home life, a different structure, a different environment. And I believe at elementary school age is critical to getting to children and teaching them right from wrong. And a big part of that is the school system, sports, athletics, the police being involved with programs such as the Boys and Girls Club and PAL. We're going to be doing flag football and things like that are available from kids to kindergarten through eighth grade. It's critical to make them feel important and a part of the community. And no matter what background you come from, that you can be a successful person in life, as a child and as an adult growing up. And if you have an issue or have a problem, that child be taught that they can go to somebody for help. And it's okay to make a mistake once. It's not okay to keep repeating it over and over again and not having consequences like our current Maryland laws have for children of a young age. It just makes it harder. It makes it harder for that child to realize the wrong and try to make it right. And I think it's our job as a community. I was at the council meeting last night, and our interim superintendent spoke, and he spoke about how the community needs to be involved. We're 23 out of 24 schools. That's where we rank our school districts, and part of being able to fix that is it's a community problem. It's not just a school problem or school issue. It's not just a police issue that our juveniles are out on the streets late at night or doing crimes in the middle of the day. It's a community issue, and we all need to take hold of it and be a part of the change.
It's budget time in the city of Cambridge. I wanted to know if you could give us a sense of are you getting what you need as we go into the next fiscal year?
Yeah, it's budget season, and we're working hard on it. Of course, working closely with our city manager and finance office, and that will ramp up in the next month as well. But I can say, since taking over in August of 2022 as the interim chief, I've worked very closely with the city manager and council, and they've been very, very supportive of what we need, from pay increases to so many other benefits. And it's really been a blessing, and it's really been a big help to what we're trying to accomplish with community-oriented policing, patrolling with a purpose. We're doing a staffing study now, which I believe will really give the public. It won't be just me standing up at a podium saying we need more officers. This is a professional staffing study that's going to be done. It should be completed hopefully within the next month, that will show on a scale, due to our calls of service, the types of calls we handle, of how many officers the city of Cambridge really truly needs to function and accomplish what we're set out to do, which is reduce crime and make sure that we bring every bit of public safety to our citizens that we can.
So is this a different kind of matrix or method than what I think Hopkins is the one who has been producing this kind of formula for how many police officers one needs?
Yeah, it's basically the same formula that Hopkins uses. It's also the IACP, International Association Chief of Police, use to judge the scale, and it's pretty much a 1/3 scale. Your calls of service, your time in report writing, times of arrest, it's all broken down into thirds, and they can base that off of your number of calls of service, your number of officers working at one time, and break that scale down so you can get it's not going to be a set number, but you can base it, say, from 48 to 52, for example, somewhere along those range. Just depends on what they find in that research.
Chief, what areas of the Cambridge Police Department still need staffing, and how are you managing with the undercount of officers right now? Aren't you budgeted for around 50 or so?
We're not budgeted for that many. I'm not sure if exactly in the budget itself how many officers we're budgeted for. I can tell you we don't have enough yet. So we're still, recruitment and retention is a big push here. We're gonna, as soon as July hits, we'll be out advertising again. We're going through our hiring phase now. We are working on our PT test and going through our background checks for the July Academy. We have several applicants. So that's nonstop. We had a lot of work to do with that. We're coming a long way. Our patrol areas of patrol, the officers that you see out patrolling the streets day in or day out, we have a pretty good handle on the officers needed to handle the calls of service and be patrolling with purpose like we've asked them to do. We still need more? Yes, but I think we're in a much better position. Where we're lagging is our detective division. They had to supplement patrol, so we had to pull officers from those specialized divisions to put them in patrol for a period of time. So adding to that group is imperative. And also the PACE team, which was created back in late 2022, that we've finally been able to man now. So we'll look forward, and hopefully by the end of the calendar year, those areas will be up to close to speed to where we need them to be, and we'll be moving forward from there.
Chief, we'd love to have you give some highlights that we haven't talked about, but As an aside, I think the Eastern Shore made news this week because of the elimination of the city of Ridgely's police department, at least temporarily. I use the word city sparingly. What goes on with that kind of play? Have you any insight on that?
I don't, and I don't want to speak on a different department. I don't know what's going on with that, but there's many guidelines, there's many stipulations that police departments have to follow. There's Maryland Police Training Commission that we have to make sure that we put every bit of data and information we have available in. So I don't know what's going on there. I wouldn't have no information on it, but that's what police departments and administrations do. We have to make sure all the data and information's there. I don't know if that's the case there, but certainly it's an important detail to make sure we're doing on our end.
I was going to say that a while ago, Cambridge was experienced a huge uptick in car thefts in the city. I think especially Hyundais and Kias. Is that still a problem, or is it just not covered as much these days?
No, that has diminished greatly in the last first quarter of this year. Those numbers have gone down. We had a couple days where we had a rash of car break-ins. I believe we had 4 vehicles stolen within a 12-hour period. But as far as our vehicle thefts and they have dropped down significantly to what they were a year ago. Now we know springtime, summer's coming, so I'm apprehensive, but we want to definitely push the people to lock their car doors and keep all valuables out of sight from your vehicle, because that is the number one reason that we have victims of crime throughout our city.
How about what's on your list? What do you want the community to know that we haven't talked about?
We just finished finishing up for some of our first quarter numbers, and our ShotSpotter alerts compared to this time last year for our first quarter's down close to 55%. That's a big deal.
Yeah.
And our Part 1 crimes, our major crimes within the city, are down 13.5%. And our Part 2 crimes are down, I think, 2 or 3%. So there's a 15% drop in crime within our first quarter of the year. That's not success, but it's progress, and that's what we're looking for. And I'm thankful for the data that we've been able to develop here, that be able to give us that information and be able to get that out to the public.
Well, thank you, sir. We sure do appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
It's good to talk with you.
Yes, sir. Have a good day.